On June 18, 2013, reports emerged about a tragic car accident that resulted in the untimely demise of Michael Hastings, a 33-year-old American journalist and author. Rumours and speculation regarding a potential conspiracy theory and subsequent cover-up began to circulate. The reason behind this conjecture stems from Michael Hastings' reputable career, particularly his notable and critical coverage of the Iraq War for Newsweek magazine during the early 2000s. Earning significant acclaim, his 2010 article titled "The Runaway General," published in Rolling Stone magazine, garnered widespread attention. This article shed light on the disapproval of General Stanley McChrystal and his team towards civilian government officials, including then Vice President Joe Biden and several other prominent figures of the Obama administration. Inevitably, the publication of the article led to the resignation of the highly respected General McChrystal, who before the then President Obama put him in charge of the war in Afghanistan, had spent 5 years running the Pentagon's most secretive black ops.
Today I accepted General Stanley McChrystal's resignation as commander of the International Security Assistance Force in Afghanistan. I did so with considerable regret. Indeed, it saddens me to lose the service of a soldier who I've come to respect and admire.
Continuing his career's upward trajectory, Michael Hastings garnered even more public and government attention through his outspoken criticism of the Obama administration's Department of Justice investigation targeting political reporters in 2013. Hastings and other journalistic figures voiced concern about the measures which were taking place.
Some of our longtime trusted sources have become nervous and anxious about talking to us, even on stories that aren't about national security. Government employees that we once checked in with regularly will no longer speak to us by phone, and some are reluctant to meet in person. Now, the government may love this. I suspect they do. But beware the government that loves secrecy too much.
Vocal in his condemnation, Hastings labelled the imposed restrictions and the subpoenaing of phone records from the Associated Press as the ominous inception of an assault on free journalism.
The Obama administration has clearly declared war on the press. It's declared war on investigative journalists, our sources. I think the only recourse to this kind of behavior by the government is to say back to the government, we declare war on you, and from this point forward, we should no longer, as a media as a whole, cooperate in any manner with the government in terms of when we're doing national security stories.
On June 7th, 2013, BuzzFeed published what would ultimately become Michael Hastings' final piece, an article provocatively titled, "Why Democrats Love to Spy on Americans." The article delved into an intense discussion and critique of the Democratic Party and their involvement in what he described as a burgeoning surveillance state. At certain junctures, Hastings even likened the methods employed by the White House to those reminiscent of North Korea. The article elicited considerable attention and scrutiny, adding to the significance of Hastings' already impactful journalistic legacy. In the days leading up to his untimely death, Michael Hastings reportedly had an ongoing investigation into the CIA Director John Brennan as part of a new story he was working on. Hours before he passed away the following morning, the award-winning journalist sent emails to various colleagues, letting them know that his close friends and associates were being interviewed by the FBI, perhaps to give his friends a heads up that they may also be interviewed. He then expressed his intention to temporarily go off radar. This revelation understandably adds to the sense of suspicion surrounding the tragic event. Could this pursuit of a new exposé have been the driving force behind an assassination plot? Many find this scenario highly plausible. Adding to the intrigue, WikiLeaks further fueled speculations when they disclosed that Hastings had contacted their lawyer mere hours before the fatal crash, informing her of an FBI investigation into his activities. However, the FBI later refuted this assertion, causing some uncertainty about the true circumstances surrounding the journalist's demise. But I think it's fair to say that now we've got to a point where even if that statement was true, there will always be doubt. A mere 11 days after the publication of the thought-provoking BuzzFeed article, Michael Hastings tragically lost his life in that fateful car crash. The incident occurred at 4:20 a.m. in a Los Angeles neighborhood. One witness described the car as moving fast, leaving a trail of questions and curiosity in its wake. Why was he driving so fast? Was he trying to get away from someone? News articles described the crash as being intense, due to the fact that the car's engine and transmission were found 100 feet away from the main wreckage. Although the official ruling labelled the incident as an accident, Richard A. Clarke, a national security expert and former government official, introduced an alternative perspective. He proposed the possibility that Michael Hastings' car might have been subject to hacking, thereby, although not explicitly, raising questions about the authenticity of the accident narrative by stating, "It's relatively easy to hack your way into the control system of a car and do such things as cause acceleration when the driver doesn't want acceleration. You can do some really highly destructive things now through hacking a car, and it's not that hard." However, he also added that he was not suggesting that there actually was a hack in this particular incident. Looking further into the feasibility of car hacking, we found this old news report.
Two professional hackers armed with only laptops and an internet connection remotely broke into the internal system of this 2014 Jeep Cherokee. They took control of the Jeep's locks, the steering, the speedometer, even disabled the brakes.
And to make things a little stranger and more suspicious, we found reports that at 12:30 a.m. on the morning he died, Hastings had apparently asked his neighbour and friend, Jordana Thigpen, for use of her car, as he had some concern that his own car had been tampered with, to which she had to decline, as her own car was having mechanical issues. Another worrying detail that she added was that he was scared and he wanted to leave town. The next she heard of him was the news that he had died. A video of the morbidly spectacular fire engulfing the Mercedes-Benz C250 coupe further fueled the speculation of sabotage, suggesting that an incendiary device may have played a role in the cause of the crash and the fire that followed. Other reports detailing the incident shed light on Michael Hastings' personal struggles, disclosing that he seemed to be experiencing a setback following a commendable 14-year period of sobriety from substance abuse. Simultaneously, he grappled with renewed episodes of paranoia. Interestingly, accounts from his earlier years suggest that he had informally been recognized as having bipolar disorder during his teenage years. Could these disclosures have just been an attempt to smear his character, to make it seem more likely that he himself was solely responsible for the crash? If you look back in almost anyone's past, it could be possible to find something that might change your opinion of them in the present day. 14 years is a long time ago, and Michael had come a long way since then. And as for his renewed sense of paranoia, perhaps this feeling was more than justified. The autopsy conducted after his tragic passing unveiled the presence of both marijuana and amphetamine in his system at the time of the crash. However, the report notably underscores that these substances were deemed unlikely to have played a role in causing the accident. Alarmingly though, the body was cremated immediately after the autopsy, and we say alarming because this was not authorized by his family.
Meaning he was cremated, and it wasn't the request of the family that went forward and asked for something like that. In fact, the family wanted Michael's body to go home. It's shocking for a couple of reasons. If there was any evidence in his, body at the time of death,
drugs,
anything, that's gone. That evidence is now all gone.
His widow, Elise Jordan, believes that the way he met his end was truly a tragic accident. saying in a TV interview with CNN,
Right now, the LAPD still has an active investigation. I don't really have anything to add. My gut here is that it was just a really tragic accident, and I'm very unlucky, and the world was very unlucky.
While those who are intimately connected to Michael Hastings seem like they've put their faith in the officially declared account of events, it's inevitable that there will persist those people who struggle to embrace such conclusions, especially in cases like this, where the circumstances surrounding the event, as well as the information available, all seem to suggest something far more sinister than a mere accident. What do you think?